Arizona is great. Austin, Texas, where I have my main residence now, is great. The problem is that this is a new world order. I've talked about it before, but I got a really great job offer before this one out in Australia, and I gave it some thought. I'm like, man, maybe I will go to Australia. But then I start reading about Australia's draconian internet legislation. We read on air here 2 weeks ago the fact that they're just going to start going with the GMO foods, not labeling them, mixing in the seeds. Sir, I mean, if you love New York, stay there and fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, I love this country so much. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I need a liver transplant, and New York is not the place for me to be. I'm not physically what I have been in the past.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll tell you what. If you like New York, you got family there. I'm telling you, upstate New York is like a whole nother world, especially if you're in a suburb. You can get a train pretty easily in the Albany area. I would say a suburb of Albany might be a good place for you. You know what I mean? Somewhere in Saratoga is gorgeous. Saratoga Springs is great there. They got a nice little track. I know I'm advertising the track, but I'm telling you, Saratoga Springs. Oh, you do? Well, there you go. There's a nice little place, a little more slow living, still got a lot of civilization, and if you need to get to the city, you can do so. I hope you take me up on it, because I love Saratoga Springs too, James. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Sam in Wisconsin. Sam, you're on the line.
Jason.
Yes, sir.
Jason, okay. Real quick, scientists arrested for smuggling vials used in Ebola research in the U.S.
Yep, we covered the story earlier tonight.
You got that?
Yep.
There's a secondary coming out of the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting, referring to the situation also.
And then what are they saying? Because what was interesting about the story to me is it was very broad. They said that this guy, who was a younger guy, smuggled this in from Canada, and that the vials were used in not only Ebola research, but HIV research. And they didn't really make it clear whether he had actual Ebola virus or HIV virus, just the vials, right?
Granted, this whole thing stinks of an op. It doesn't make any sense. They're talking about the materials that it's handling or carrying, supposedly heading to a new job in Bethesda, Maryland. Well, a new job in Bethesda, Maryland is what? What's located in Bethesda? All right. Now, this does not compute. None of this works out. Ebola is a bio 5 grade, okay? They're talking in these articles about his contact with this material being Ebola virus, which is a bio 5, and HIV, which is bio 2. The guy had full run of this stuff, and he has been caught moving or trying to move this material. Now, apparently, he stole it on the 21st of January this year, and he was caught on the 5th of May trying to move this material into the States. Now, if you conduct the same backwater workup and look at the separation of this NWO fluid that's been processed, you look at the different countries that have been involved in this situation, there have been multiple sources with no common link, no ground zero, no person zero in the whole link. Somebody's pulling an op on this whole friggin' thing.
Well, it's interesting. We're keeping an eye on it. It's Conan Michael Yao. He's 42, and he was taken into custody. Like I said, it was very suspicious, but it was so broad that until I get more information, I've got to just kind of report what's there and, see where it pans out. I think that this is an even more important story. 7-7 police officers arrested over expense claims, and it looks like they're arresting these guys to possibly shut them up about what they know of the 7-7 attacks. Yeah, the Metropolitan Police officers were arrested in connection with a number of offenses, including misconduct in a public office, conspiracy to defraud, theft, and false accounting. It is believed the allegations relate to misuse of corporate credit cards while they were based in Leeds, investigating the background of the suicide bombers. So it looks like these guys started to investigate the quote-unquote suicide bombers of 7-7. Remember, they tried to convict 4 more of these guys, and only 2 weeks ago they had to let them off on all charges. They had nothing to do with the 7-7 bombings. And then we know they're running drills of blowing up the same exact train stations at the same exact time through Visor Corps. We had Peter Power on Sky Television and the BBC admitting this, and now he doesn't want to talk about it. It is insanity. I thank you for the call, Sam. Let's go to Dave in Ireland. Dave, you're on the line.
How you doing,
yes,
Jason?
Sir. Good, man.
I'd like to comment on this bit of a political publicity stunt that the British government had decided to do with the police.
Okay.
Specifically, there was an incident in March. Mm-hmm. I have an adopted brother from Afghanistan.
Okay.
Who worked in a discount store. And 7 we call them chavs, but they're basically thugs. Walked into the store. Didn't like the idea that the guy behind the counter was talking on the phone. So they started smashing up the stock, throwing stuff all over the place, and they proceeded to attack them. Now, they didn't count on one of the guys in the shop being a Taekwondo expert who put 3 of them in hospital and basically knocked out 2 of the others, and the others run off. And when the police turned up, they arrested my adopted brother and his colleague.
Oh, my
down
God.
to the police station.
Because they were Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Again, this is the mentality they want the police to have. The brown people are bad, but they want to expand on that. But they've demonized them so much since 9/11, since the 7/7 attacks, that, you know, police officers, oh, my God, he's wearing a turban, or, oh, my God, he appears to be Muslim. Oh, is that a Koran? Oh, he must be a deadly terrorist. It's absolutely disgusting, sir.
Well, if I can elaborate on it a bit further, before that, the police station in Dover, the immigration centre, actually sent a letter for his deportation.
On what grounds?
He held a British passport for 3 years.
Why'd they say they had to deport him?
Because they hadn't updated the records.
They're updating the records, and he's a dangerous Islamic terrorist. He's an extremist. He needs to get out of the country, huh?
Well, I've actually been to Afghanistan and visited his family. And they're not bad people at all. They don't drink, they don't smoke. They were quite happy to take me to a bar, even though they don't drink themselves, so I could see that part of life.
Yeah, but, you know, at the same time, we have to have this public perception that the UK and the United States of America need to be in Afghanistan more than ever, and the Taliban is resurging, and we're redistributing forces there, so they have to hype up the fear one more time that Islamo-fascism is going to take over the world. Ooh, the boogeyman. So it doesn't surprise me that your stepbrother and his friend are being profiled, and they're trying to be kicked out of the country. That's just the way things work in the new world order and the new America. I thank you for the call. Let's go to Kyle in Washington. Kyle, you're on the line.
Hey, I was just wondering, since YouTube is censoring all the videos, why doesn't someone create a new website where we could just upload the videos? Because
InfoWarsTV.com has been created. InfoWarsTV.com has been created. Someone has done that. I don't know if everybody can upload to it. It may be just this one guy, but I think people can set up accounts. I could be wrong, but again, it's not that we can't upload videos to all these other sites. I have a blog up at theinfowarrior.com. It's that YouTube is the biggest. It's an international phenomenon, and they are trying to squelch our viewership and not allow us to bring in people who wouldn't normally check us out. Final segment of the InfoWarrior on the other side.